What's up, FBU Nation? It's your host, Coach AB, alongside my co-host, Vince Gabriel. And today we have a great topic for you. 10 quick wins for gym owners who want more profit immediately. Welcome to the podcast where we help more gym owners get more clients, make more money, and have more freedom. Big Vince, what's up, buddy? I got to be honest, man. I didn't listen to the podcast last week because I wasn't on it. So I didn't listen. I boycotted the episode.
Wow. You should listen to it, actually. What's going on?
Nothing much, man. I was actually a little bit concerned about you. You know, you skipped out on me on the podcast, and then I got an email in my inbox the other day saying that you were in a funk. I got worried about you, buddy.
That's all me building the story.
I got worried about you. Yeah. So if anybody's on the email list, they know what I'm talking about. Vince being in a funk.
Well, I get into them from time to time. It's kind of my nature is that and it's something that I've worked on a lot. But I am by nature, I get excited about things and then I get down about things. But I have really trained myself very hard to stay more even keel, where I don't get super excited anymore about great things and I don't get super down about bad things that happen. And so it's something that I personally work on. But yeah, that's what you saw in my email the other day. And as I told you on the call, the reason why I was not able to come on the call last week was because I was on dad duty, which I loved, and we had a great time on that. So that's why we missed you.
I've been hearing a lot of stuff about dads lately. So I kind of pivoted some of my, I don't know if you look at my content anymore, but
I did. I've been seeing that. Yeah. The dad thing.
I pivoted hard to dads and I seem to be gaining some traction. So I made a joke video the other day about being a DILF. You know what a DILF is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I made a joke video about being a DILF. And then from there, I've just been doing a lot of content for dads and it seems to be getting some traction on that. I'm like really surprised because usually they say it's harder to market to men. Most of the people that come to our gym are women, so it's just funny. It's kind of gaining some traction on that.
That's awesome. No, I did see that. And I remember that you posted something like a long time ago that there's someone that took a picture of you randomly at Disneyland.
Yeah, kind of creepy.
Yeah, that is pretty creepy.
But it was funny because I used it as like a thing for the video. I said that I'm the DILF creator.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Yeah. No, so your content's been good. And actually, I saw you post something which I thought was really cool, where you said you've got 10 to 30 pounds to lose. What do you do first? Yeah. And I know you got a lot of engagement on that one. I saw that. I thought that was a very smart. And I actually snapped a picture of it, and I meant to text it to you, saying, "Oh, that's a good one." But yeah, so your stuff on social has been on point lately. Good job.
Yeah, I think that you have to engage people and you got to do it differently sometimes. And I thought that was a really cool question. I basically just asked for those listening, like, hey, if you had to lose 10 to 30 pounds, what's the first thing you do? Everybody commented like call Anthony, even people who weren't clients, which is pretty cool. But I was looking, and then the funny thing was some people who actually answered. So somebody wrote like cut out carbs and do cardio. So what I did was, because I have a bank of content, I literally took my video and put it in there and said, well, I disagree. And then boom. Nice. And it was funny because a couple of those videos, I have links in there for lead magnets. So I got a couple of people from those videos that didn't comment at all on Facebook. So the thing with Facebook, you got to remember, is that people read everything. Even if they don't engage, they read it. Like, I didn't know that you even saw the post.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know that you saw the post. So that's what I mean. Like, you never know who's.
No, I look at all your stuff. There's always something to learn. And as you guys all listening to this, you should be following Anthony Bevilacqua on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, because there's just a lot of great ideas, that you can get. Once you find people that are doing a great job on social, that's where creativity is. Really, you see other ideas and then you go and you create your own version of that idea. So I actually saw someone else swipe your exact post. I saw someone else's feed with the literally verbatim, even used the same color scheme as you. I was like, oh man, he just ripped off AB.
Oh, who was it?
Yeah. I'm not going to say who it was. I'm not going to publicly blast the person on my
No, did they get
podcast.
as much engagement as I did or
I
more?
don't know. I didn't look that far, dude. Don't worry about it. You're fine.
That's what's important. I don't care if they swipe it, but if they get more engagement, that's what's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep.
All right, let's get into this, man. 10 quick wins. I want more
So
profit immediately.
I'm gonna go over the quick wins very quickly because I have very, very big plans to create a very in-depth report on all of these that I will use to put out there. So we'll give you access to that when I create it, when I sit down and write it. So this podcast is my me brainstorming and thinking through all these ideas, and then I'll take this and create a bigger version of it. So here's how this came about. I was on a call with my brother-in-law, who is a really successful financial advisor. And he's a client of ours, and he just restarted. He's been in and out of the gym, as most people, most people have been. But he just started. And one of the things that we're revamping at GFP is the onboarding process and what's going on with the client flow, meaning what's the reach out. How often are we reaching out? How often are we setting up meetings to talk about nutrition and other things like that? And so I just wanted to get his opinion because he's a real smart, savvy dude. And we got to talking. And he gave me some really good recommendations on some things about what would be, what he would like to see. And obviously, these situations vary person to person. But we got to talking about a few different other things. And he brought up this thing, like, hey, one of the times he when he was there's a lot of privacy type of things with this stuff, and I'm not going to mention any so he works for very, very high very, very well-known investment banking companies, right? And so he's like, when I was working with this one company, I had this guy that was my boss, and these guys were amazing. They came in, and now in order, my brother-in-law is kind of a big producer. So in order for him to have like considered this guy coming in, this guy must have been a really high end type of guy. And he says when we got acquired by this firm, they got paid a bunch of money to go from one firm to the other. If you don't know about that stuff, a lot of times these investment banking guys, they build up this book of clients and have a certain amount of money that they invest. And then what these other firms do is they go in and they buy the staff with the book of clients, and that's what they're trying to buy. So that increases their asset portfolio. And so he said, they were doing some stuff and some training with us when we come in, and he says, hey, one of the things you want to do for your clients is get you guys get some quick wins. And he used the term quick wins. And basically they were describing it as when you sign up a new client, you want to do something that's going to get them really excited about doing business with you. So in their case, it's like something like, hey, what can you do in someone's investment portfolio to all of a sudden give them a quick win where they, obviously not going to double their portfolio, but they make a bunch of money right off the bat by making one tweak, or they make one little change in terms of the structure and the way they're investing the money. And they talked about these quick wins. And I was like thinking about it, and I was like, well, this applies to fitness. This applies to gym ownership. Think of a quick win in the fitness world. If you get someone, let's say you bring someone in for a consultation and they've never touched their toes in their entire life, right? And you can create some kind of a trick. Maybe you do some kind of P&F stretching or something like that. And all of a sudden they can touch their toes, and they've never touched their toes before. Like, that's a quick win. If you give them one nutrition tip and they lose 5 pounds in the first 3 days, that's a quick win. So these quick wins are really cool for getting people excited, and they build trust very quickly in the beginning. And so what I did is I put together, and I'm in the process too of putting together a bunch of different things that gym owners can do with their clients to get quick wins. I'm working on that one too. But this one is, I really quickly jotted down 10 things that gym owners can do to get quick wins to drive profit. Right? Because I know people are out there right now and they're like, all right, what am I going to do to drive profit? What can I do right now that's going to get things going? And so I put together a list of 10 things. So
I kind of want to hear what he said about like the gym. I want to hear like those things that you're trying to implement in the gym to get those quick wins.
Um, yeah, nothing, not in terms of what he said about, the onboard process.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't really talk. We didn't really talk too much about quick wins, from the gym space. Those are two that I just mentioned: the touching your toes and the losing the weight and stuff like that. But we really just talked about like the timing and the spread of the check-in calls and the meetings and stuff like that, and what would be good for you. All right, so let's get into, well, anything before I go unpack. I got to do this quickly because I mean I could spend 2 hours unpacking these 10, and I know you probably have a session to get to or something.
Yeah, I have a sales meeting right after. So whenever you're ready to get rolling.
All right, so here's the first quick win for gym owners who want more profit immediately, is using something called a super signature. And a super signature is basically something that goes on the end of your emails. And maybe you have an offer in your email, or maybe you have some kind of a call to action. And like after the call to action and after the PS, you say these words: hey, whenever you're ready, here are 4 ways that you can work with me. And what you do is you bullet point 4 different opportunities for them to take action, right? One of them might be get a new free nutrition consultation. One of them might be join your 30-day challenge. One of them might be to download one of your lead magnets or something like that. But essentially what you're doing is you're getting people to get programmed to start to do something that you ask them to do. And really what it is everyone is going to be ready to take action, and ready to do something when they get to the next level, on their own terms. And by you hanging this super signature there all the time, that is something that is going to be always there for people to be able to take action on when they're ready. And I tell you, I've used a lot of different things on email, and you know that how many emails I send and everything like that. But in installing the super signature it works like immediately once you put it in there. Now, the one thing with the caveat to that is you do need to change it because people do get numb to it. You probably need to change it every 30 to 60 days or something like that. But that is the first quick win. It's just adding this super signature to the end of your emails. So that's the fastest I can teach the super signature.
Does it have to be 4 or can it be just
No.
anything?
Yep. It doesn't have to be 4. It can be 3. It can be, usually 3 is kind of the minimum that I like, but I've done 5. I think right now I have 5 right now. But no, there's no minimum now.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you've talked about that before.
Yep. And that's again, I'm kind of using this, but I've talked about it before, but this is the context of think about what you could do to get these quick money wins, right? And so
Unused
that's
capacity.
number 1. Sorry?
Unused capacity.
Yeah, you're right. Unused capacity at the end of your email. All right. Number 2 is another thing I've talked about before, but this quick money win is called the 9-word email, right? And the 9-word email is essentially a question. And I recently got I bought a solo stove recently, which is like a fire pit. And about 3 months after I purchased the solo stove, I got an email that basically had no subject line. There was no body. The only thing the email said was, hey, honest opinion about your solo stove. And that's all it said. All it said. And it was like the most intriguing email I've ever got. And you almost like demanded you to respond because it was so weird and so different. And so it's a 9-word style email. And the purpose of these 9-word emails is to get people to respond by asking them a question. And the most classic form of the 9-word email is basically, hey, are you still interested in hiring a personal trainer? Hey, are you still interested in getting in the best shape of your life? And all you do is hang it out there like with a question, with a creative subject line like hey, or a creative subject line like their first name. And the only goal of a 9-word email is just to drive a response. And the way I look at it as you're just starting a conversation with your email list. but the response rate on these style of emails is through the roof. If you've never used them before, these types of emails will work better than any other email that you've ever sent. So that is number 2 on the quick money win, is the 9-word email.
I don't want to spiral off into Pluto here, but I love that they sent you that honest review of your stove. I think that that's great, but I'm trying to figure out what they're trying. Obviously, they're trying to gain back feedback, but do you think that's almost like them trying to do the I forget what it's called when you make them rate from 1 to 10.
That you're talking about net promoter score?
Yeah. Is that their way of doing that?
So possibly, I mean, the net promoter score is a very specific question, and the specific question that they ask is on the net promoter score is how likely are you to refer to a friend, right? So that's the specific question of net promoter. So I don't know the strategy, and I did respond, and
Did
I
you get
didn't
an
get
answer?
anything back,
Wow, that's
nothing
weird.
back. So I was
That's
interested.
weird.
And again, but the thing is like, it's just really intriguing,
Yeah.
because what are all the other emails you get? All the other emails are either they're really long, or they got these stupid graphics that they have, and there's very rarely do you get an email that's one line, right? So it's just different. It stands out, and that's one of the reasons why these 9-word emails work so well.
Yeah, I think that's a good one because it's very, very different. Honest review. I just would love to know their strategy behind that. Like why? Unless they're
Yeah.
looking for negative feedback to fix. I don't know.
Yeah, and that is possible. And I think I responded with incredible.
That's all you wrote?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's because I love it. I love my fire pit. And so I responded with incredible, and it was just like not good, nothing back. So
Weird. All right, number 3.
all right. So number 3 is something I've talked about a lot, but if you want a quick money win, you focus on reactivation. So you focus on who is in your network right now, who's on your email list, whose phone number do you have, that used to pay you, right? And that's all you need to do is find a list, look into your Mindbody account, look on your email list, wherever you want to look, and just look for people that used to pay you money. And if you find someone that used to pay you money, if you want a quick money win, you pick up the phone and you make them an offer to come back. Let's not like get crazy. You don't need to get all automated on this. If you need a quick money win, sometimes the best tool to use is the telephone. So find that list, pick up the phone, make the call, and get some people back in. You sitting down with that list and a cup of coffee and a cell phone in your hand, that could be some of the best time that you spend to grow your business right now.
Yeah. What offer would you
So that's
recommend to
number
some
3.
people listening to this?
And again, I'm not giving all this info because I just want to bust through these out quickly. But 3 months, you might say, come back for a that's going to get them back in the door. The offer is, the relationship is the most important thing, and to be able to leverage that relationship and re-engage that is the most important part. But something free usually in that case.
Awesome. Number 4.
Number 4 is get your website audited. Okay. Now, in my work with the Tech Nerd, there is a lot of people that have websites that are, we call them black holes. And what that essentially means is there's really nothing happening from their website. They're not making any money from it. They're not getting conversions from it. And a lot of times there's a few small tweaks that need to be made on your website that can instantly get that thing to turn into a money-making tool for you. So for example, I was looking at someone's website the other day, and it was a person from Chicago. And I looked, and they had no offer on the website. Okay. There was just nothing there. It had their address, it had their email, it had their phone number, but there was no offer that was like, hey, do this specifically, or take this next step specifically. So getting some kind of a professional to look at your website, to be able to tell you one little tweak. And that's kind of what we do. That's what the tech nerd does for a lot of different of the gym owners out there. Is he looks at, schedules an hour call and does a whole website audit and basically says, tweak this, change this, change this. Now, one of the things you want to look at on websites is not just the, what's on the front of the website, which is the most important part, right? What are the words on the website? What do they say? But also what happens on the back end, and that is things like website speed. So, for example, if your website is a dog, meaning it takes you like a really, really long time for your website to load, that thing ain't working. And you got to get that checked out. So some little tweaks, because at the end of the day, people are going to Google, right? People are going to Google for to search for your gym. And so when they go to Google to search for your gym, they're going to go to your website. So you got to have this thing optimized. I think too many people are like, they're like relying on Facebook, they're relying on all these other things, but you got to have a good website, and you got to have a website that converts. So that's number 4, is get someone to audit your website and take a look at it. And what are little tweaks that you can make to move the needle immediately?
Yeah, your website's your storefront. That's essentially what it is.
That's number 4, right?
Yep. Number 5.
Number 5 is run a sweepstakes. Now, the caveat to this one is, I don't know if this is a quick win. It's definitely a big win if you run a sweepstakes the right way. It does take a little time to set up, but essentially a sweepstakes is where you give away something of value. You give away an 8-week transformation package. You give away a year of free training. You create some kind of a big thing that you offer to give away. And then you have people apply to win it. Now, there's a lot of other of my material that you can go to figure this out, right? To figure out how to do this. I've done full podcasts on this thing. But at the end of the day, one of the things we're working on with a lot of the gyms that are opening up new locations is they start the new location with running a sweepstakes in that area. And it's been working really, really well, where we go sweepstakes and then run that into something like a pre-sale for that location. But having that as a tool in your toolbox, I mean, it's not a tool that should be abused, because I don't think you can run one of these every month or something like that. But when you do it, they're super lucrative, and the amount of leads that you get is higher than anything else I've seen done out there. And it's not just like you're going to get new clients immediately. You're also going to get clients, 2, 3, 4, 5 months down the road. So it's definitely a huge tool to have in your toolbox.
Yeah, and I would say too, any of the clients that you get are also going to be a big win. I think from the first sweepstakes that I ran, I made about 20K to this date
Really?
from that one. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I just did the
That's
math
awesome.
now while you were talking about that because I was curious, but yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So it is something that's very valuable. But if you get, the winner of the one that we did the first year is became like our star client. Like, she's awesome. She's been with us for 3 years. She sent us her friend from day one, who's been with us for 3 years as well. So it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
That's awesome though. I didn't realize you made that much money. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. From the first one.
Right. Good.
So that's 5.
All right. That's 5. Number 6. Here's a great one for a quick money win, is selecting a certain amount of your members and offering an upgrade. Now, there's a lot of guys in the mastermind that have done this.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially what you do is you most likely have members that are doing 1 day a week, 2 day weeks, 3 days a week, or however you want to call it, 5 times, 8 times, 12 times a month, however you structure it, right? But all that is an opportunity. Every person that's doing 1 day a week is an opportunity to get them to do twice a week. And then the people that are doing twice a week, there's an opportunity to get them to do 3 days a week. And so all you really need to do is just reach out to the people that are doing 1 time and offer them 2. And at the end of the time, give it to them for free. And at the end of the time, sit down with them. He's like, hey, before you're going once a week, and now the last month you've gone twice a week, and here are the results that you've gotten, and how's he feeling, and would you like to stay at 2 days a week? It's as simple as that. It's like something that is so simple and easy to do, but a lot of people just don't think about it. They just think about new clients. They think about, or how do I get my next client? How do I get my next new client? And there's money, a lot of money being left on the table simply by just not saying, hey, do you want to do more? We have this. Would you like to do more? And there's a lot of people. Here's the thing. It's better for someone to do 3 times a week than once a week.
Yeah.
It's better for them and it's better for you. So that's a big, quick money win right there.
Right. I think one of the key with that is I think you have to present it as a gift. So when we did it, we haven't done it in a while because COVID and everything with that. But when we were doing it, I was having the trainers select the person, and then I was calling them and saying, hey, look, this trainer says that you're doing such a good job. We want to upgrade you this month. I think it helps with retention. I think it's a great thing to do, but you got to have that follow-up second meeting. That's the key. You got to schedule that follow-up meeting in. If you don't let schedule the sideline.
Yep. Well, very well said. Yep. That follow-up meeting is huge. Most likely they're not even going to know it's an option unless you do a good job of teeing it up in the beginning. So yeah, that's powerful. All right. So number 7.
All right. Number 7.
Number 7 is raise prices on new members. Now, this is a real easy one. Okay. So here's how you do this. And I've said this many times. You go and you open your computer. You click and open Microsoft Word. You click the file that holds your price sheet. You delete one number, and then you put a higher number. You save it, you reprint your price sheet, and then you present it to your next client that comes in. And it's as simple as that. And you start making money immediately. It's one of the best strategies I ever could give you, right? And here's the thing. For those of you listening to this, oh, Vince, I've heard that one before. Yeah. Well, how many of you actually done it?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
There you go. So a lot of times you need to be reminded more than you need to learn something new. So now I will say I was nice to you, but here is the fastest way to get a quick win.
Is this number 8?
The fastest way? No, this is still on raise prices. So the fastest way to get a quick win is to raise your prices on everybody, right? Because all you do is you write a letter saying you're going to raise your prices. You send the letter out, and then you have, let's say you have 100 clients. You have 100 people that are going to start paying more money. Now, yeah, you're going to lose a couple, but let's say you keep 90 of them, right? You're going to be probably making the same amount of money. So raising your prices on your current members is probably the fastest money win. It's probably the fastest way to increase profitability because you don't increase any of your expenses. So it's a brilliant way to do it. Now, a lot of people have a tough time with this one. It does take courage to write that letter. We have a great letter that we created in the mastermind that gets floated around all the time for people that want to raise their prices. If it's done in the right way, usually it works out well in the favor to the gym owner. So that is number 7. Number 8. Paid in fulls. Paid in fulls. You want a quick money win? Here's what you do. Go to your top 5 clients, the ones you know that these are the ones that pull up in the 7 series, or they got a bunch of different, Bentleys in their garage, and you can tell that they're always going on vacation. You know these people. You got these kind of clients, the ones that
they have a pickup, they wear flannel, those types.
Oh no, baby. So those, actually, I am describing the people that might not have the money as they like to flash it, right? But the people that you know are that can write a check to you for $5,000, for $7,000, for $10,000, right? To give you a year of training in full, and maybe it's not that much, maybe it's only $3,000, but that is a quick money win to be able to drive cash. Now, some of you may not need that. If you don't need cash, it might not be a great option for you. But if you do and you need a quick money win, that is a great way to do it. And there's not a gym in the world that doesn't have these people that exist inside their business that could pull out their checkbook and write a big check. So that is number
I
8, paid
I
in
did that.
fulls.
I did that when we reopened, because I was afraid we were going to close again. I think it was a little bit after we reopened, and I just made a 3-day thing, and I sent out a couple of emails, and I made 12 grand over the weekend. But
Nice.
I used it as just a piggy bank. I just left it aside just in case. That was like a strategy that I did during COVID. I
Yeah.
didn't make that. It was only 3 clients, but they paid for the year.
Yeah. So it's $4,000 a pop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. So how many of you listening would like to have a 12,000 sitting
In
in
a
a
weekend.
checking account that you don't
Yeah.
touch, or you can cash it out and put it under your mattress like AB does.
All right, number 9.
So number 9 is something called a voicemail drop. Now, the voicemail drop is something I used to have the most successful campaign I've ever had, which was back in July, where we did it was a reactivation, but we used this voicemail drop where I pre-recorded a message, and the message was texted, or not texted. The message was sent to people's phone automatically. And what a voicemail drop is something that that actually the phone actually doesn't ring. It just goes right to voicemail. And so all of a sudden they just have a magic voicemail from you, and the voicemail, the copy of the voicemail, the verbiage of the voicemail is them to refer to a text that you send. So you set up a system where it goes voicemail drop into a text message, and then the text message was only designed to get them to respond. Right. But if you have a good offer, like even right now, like a lot of gyms are announcements being made like, hey, the masks are coming off soon, or the capacity is back up to 100%. There's a lot of things going on right now that give you a reason to do something like this, right? So make an announcement on voicemail that's, hey, we're back to 100% capacity. We have an offer for people to come back, and blah, 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 blah. So that's a great quick money win, is using that strategy to drive to one of your offers, a voicemail drop.
Yeah, I like that one. It's a cool little trick.
Yeah, and it works. Not something you want, and definitely not something you want to abuse, right?
Yeah.
So number 10, the last one, this is a great one. Hire or delegate someone to audit your expenses. Or if you're really good at this and you can dig into this yourself, you do it yourself. But I had our general manager really dig deep when COVID hit, dig deep into our expenses. And I was like, I want you to find me some money. Okay. And he went through and he looked at all the things we're spending, everything that we were spending money on. And he found us like a couple grand, that all of a sudden a couple grand we were making $2,000 profit based on things that we were using, subscriptions, all stupid things that we didn't even know we had anymore. Do that. So really doing good audit. And sometimes it's better to get someone else's eyes on it that you trust to look at it, because sometimes you've been looking at it for so long you don't even know what's there anymore. But getting someone that's an immediate profit return. That's a quick win right now. Or like, even if it's a couple $100 a month, right? There's your membership to the MMIC, just a couple $100 a month, right there, that you can then sign up for that program as well. So finding some money by looking into your expenses and chopping some things out that you probably don't need or aren't even using. So
surprised one of the things that wasn't on this list, Vince, was anything with employees and like unused capacity with employees. I'm shocked. I was waiting for one of those to drop.
Well, here's the thing. There's a list of 100 of these.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one of the things that I'm like, so I wrote the first 10. So this list is the first 10 that came to my mind in my report. And this podcast is about talking these out, but in my report, there's going to be a lot more of them. So when I create this report, it's probably going to be like 50 of them. So there definitely will be things about employees. There definitely will be things, other things coming up. So I can't do them all, AB. Can't do them all.
Can't let all the cat out of the bag, that's for sure. So guys, that's it. There's your marching orders. You want to be more profitable, take home more money, and have more freedom. These are the things you have to do, but you can't just listen to these things and do nothing. You have to go out there and take action. What's the simplest thing that you could do on this list right now from listening to this? Okay, I got it. So pause this, okay? Well, don't pause it. Listen to what I said first and then pause and then go do it. So first thing you should do is to do a 9-word email to all inquiry people and just do a 9-word email. Hey, are you interested in personal training? Then go and raise your prices. So when those people answer you, you have higher prices and they pay higher prices. And that's I guess that's the easiest one that you could do right there. Just those two. Just take those two and you can go make some money right now. Right now.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's great advice, AB. I think you got to find, you got the list. You can go back and listen to this to give you, but what's the one that you heard today that was like, oh man, I got to do that. And maybe what you want to do is dig a little deeper. And like, let's say the sweepstakes was really intriguing you. Go dig through some of the old podcasts and find the sweepstakes episodes that you can listen to the entire thing about how to do it, or send us an email. You can send me an email, Vince at Gabriel Fitness, like, hey, I want more info on raising prices. I want to, maybe see the letter that you wrote. Just reach out to us, and we'll happily point you in the right direction. But think about the one that you heard today that was resonated with you, that you can take action on immediately, as AB said, and then take it from there.
Yep. All right, guys, well, make sure you head on over to club.vincegabriel.com. You'll find some goodies there. So make sure you head on over there. And like we said, just go and take action. So until the next one, everyone, we'll catch you then.
Peace.